In this video lecture, we will discuss about bacteria, bacteria definition, structure, shape, habitat and nutrition. So first we will start with the introduction. The study of bacteria is known as bacteriology. The study of bacteria, that is known as bacteriology. Like this way, the study of virus, that is known as virology. Study of fungi is known as mycology. So the study of bacteria is known as bacteriology. Bacteriology, which means that bacterio means bacteria and logy means study. Like this way, the study of bacteria is known as bacteriology. The scientist who study on bacteria is called bacteriologist. The scientist who study completely on just bacteria, that is known as bacteriologist. Like this way, the scientist who study on virus is called virologist. If we look at the definition says that bacteria is a unicellular microorganism. They are the unicellular microorganisms, which means that they are the single cell microorganism, or we can say that the bacteria are the prokaryotic microorganisms. They are the prokaryotic which have cell wall. They have the presence of the cell wall but lack of the organelles and organized nucleus. They have the lack of organelles, which means that they have the absence of organelles such as mitochondria, Golgi body, lysosomes, centriole, endoplasmic reticulum. These all are the organelles which is mainly found in the eukaryotic cells. So in the prokaryotic cells such as the bacteria, they have the lack of organelles and organized nucleus. Organized nucleus, which means that they have the absence of membrane bound nucleus. And some which can cause disease. Some bacteria, they are beneficial, and some bacteria which are responsible to cause disease. They can cause disease to the other living things. So this is the definition of bacteria. They are the unicellular microorganisms which have cell wall. They have the presence of cell wall but the lack of organelles and organized nucleus, and some bacteria can cause disease. Now if we see the habitat, bacteria found in soil, water and in air. They are found in everywhere, or we can say that they exist everywhere in the earth. They are found in the soil, they are found in the water bodies, they are found in the air. Symbiotic bacteria. Symbiotic bacteria, which means that the bacteria that shows the symbiotic relationship with the another organisms, with other living things. They shows the symbiotic relationship with other living things, which means that the bacteria and the other which things that is getting symbiotic, which means that both the partners are getting benefits. They live in a symbiotic relationship with other. For example, rhizobium plus plant. Rhizobium. Here rhizobium is the bacteria. Rhizobium is the bacteria and the plant roots. Here the bacteria is getting symbiotic. They live in a symbiotic relationship with the plant root. Suppose this is the plant root and here the bacteria near the plant root, the bacteria they are living, because we know that in the soil there are many bacteria are present. So here we are specifically talking about the rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria, they are responsible for the nitrogen fixation. Rhizobium bacteria, they are for the help in the nitrogen fixation in the plant root, or we can say that in the plant. They help in the nitrogen fixation. As we know that in the nitrogen that are present in the atmosphere around 78%. But they are present in the form of N triple bond N. So it is a very stable. this nitrogen cannot be utilized by the any living things. So for that, this rhizobium bacteria help this atmospheric nitrogen, that help this conversion of atmospheric nitrogen, and that can fix the nitrogen in the plant root. So the plant root can easily utilize this plant root, this nitrogen. So here we can simply see is that the rhizobium bacteria and the plant root, they are symbiotically, they are living in their area, and both the partners are getting benefits. Here the rhizobium is the partner with the plant root, and the plant root is the partner of the rhizobium. Mostly this nitrogen fixation with the rhizobium, that is mostly take place in the leguminous plant root, mostly in the leguminous plant root. So here both the partners are getting benefits. How? The plant is getting fixed nitrogen, nitrogen is fixed by the bacteria, so ultimately the plant is getting benefit, and the rhizobium bacteria is also getting benefit. How? Because they are getting the nutrition from the plant root. Once they enter in the plant root, they take the nutrient from the plant root, and they get the one kind of nutrition source, or we can say that they can get the kind of habitat for their living. So here bacteria get the habitat and the nourishment from the plant root, and the plant root is getting nitrogen, is getting fixed in the plant root. So here both the partner is getting benefit. Parasite. Some bacteria are the parasite living in another organisms. Here in a simple example we can see that in the human body there are in the gastrointestinal tract, or we can in the intestine, E. coli is mostly present. So E. coli is living in the another organism. For example, here they are living into the human body as a host. Human body is the host for the E. coli. E. coli is getting nutrition from the human body, and they are living as a parasite. They are living onto the another organisms, and they obtain their nutrient. Some can grow in the hot and the cold region. Bacteria, they are on the basis of temperature tolerance, they are the psychrophilic. Psychrophilic bacteria, mesophilic, thermophilic, psychro means cold and philic means loving, cold loving organism. They can grow at the less than 25 degrees Celsius temperature. Okay. Mesophilic, they can grow best at 25 to 40 degrees Celsius. 25 to in the range of 25 to 40 degrees Celsius. Thermophilic, thermo which means that heat, and philic means loving, hot loving, or we can say the heat loving. So they can grow best at above 40 degrees Celsius temperature. So on the basis of the temperature requirement, or we can see that on the basis of temperature tolerance, bacteria are mainly divided into three, such as psychrophilic, which means that they can grow best at less than 25 degrees Celsius. Mesophilic, they can grow best at between 25 to 40 degrees Celsius. Thermophilic, they can grow best above 40 degrees Celsius. And there is also hyperthermophilic is also there, but here we have to only remember mainly three types of temperature tolerance. Now reproduction. Bacteria reproduce only two ways, such as sexually and asexually. Sexually, they can reproduce by conjugation, transformation, transduction. So this is the sexual mode of reproduction in the bacteria, such as conjugation, transformation and transduction, and asexually by the budding, binary fission, fragmentation. So reproduction can be done by the two ways in the bacteria, such as sexually and asexually. Based on oxygen requirement, bacteria are divided into two types, such as aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic, which means that they use oxygen for their respiration. For the respiration they require oxygen. Or in a simple way we can say that they can grow in a presence of oxygen. Anaerobic, which means that they used CO2, carbon dioxide, for the respiration. Or in a simply we can say that they does not require oxygen. Anaerobic organisms, or we can anaerobic bacteria, they does not require oxygen. They can grow in an absence of oxygen. There are various shape of the bacteria that are found in the nature, such as bacilli, spiral, comma, and spherical. Bacilli, which means that shape is like this way, which means that rod shape bacteria, they are found in the nature. Spiral shape means the shape is like spiral. Comma shape, the shape is like comma, or the another word, that is vibrio. Spherical, the shape is like spherical means round, or we can say that cocci shape. So in the nature they are found in a form of bacilli, spiral, comma, spherical. If we look at the arrangement, how they are arranged, if they are singly arranged bacilli, if they are singly like this way they are present, then we say is that bacilli. If they are arranged in a pair like this, then we say is diplobacilli. Diplobacilli. If they are arranged in a chain like this way, then we say is that streptobacilli. If they are arranged in a bunch or a cluster like, we can say like this. Then we can say that Staphylobacilli. Staphylobacilli. So on the basis of arrangement, if they are arranged in a single, then we say that bacilli. If they are arranged in a pair, then we say that diplobacilli. When they are arranged in a chain-like structure, then we say that streptobacilli. When they are arranged in a bunch or a cluster, then we say that Staphylobacilli. Like this way, if cocci means spherical bacteria, if they are singly arranged like this way, if it is a singly arranged, a single bacteria, cocci shaped bacteria that is found, then we say that monococcus, means mono means one and coccus means spherical bacteria or cocci shaped bacteria. This is known as monococcus. If they are arranged in a pair, for example, if they are arranged in a pair like this, then we say that diplococci. Diplo means two and cocci means the shape is cocci like structure, coccus like structure or spherical like structure. If they are arranged in a four, then we say that tetracocci. Tetracocci, or we can, another word we can say that Sarcina. If they are arranged in a chain, for example like chain like this, then we say that it is a streptococci. If they are arranged in a chain, then we say that streptococci. If they are arranged in a bunch or a cluster like structure like this, then we say is that Staphylococci. Okay, this is what all about the arrangement of bacteria. The shape of bacteria are normally bacilli, spiral, coma, spherical, and on the basis of their arrangement, if the spherical bacteria or a cocci bacteria, if they are singly present, then we say is that monococcus. If their arrangement is like a pair-like arrangement, two are present, so we can say that diplococci. If their arrangement in a pair of 4, then we say is that tetracocci or sarcina. If their arrangement is like a chain-like structure, then we can say is that streptococci. And when their arrangement is like a bunch or a cluster-like structure, then we can say is that staphylococci. Okay, now on outside source, bacteria on outside source, how they are found? They are found as a parasite, which means that parasite bacteria, which means that parasitic bacteria, parasite which means that parasitic bacteria, they live onto the another organisms, they live onto their another organisms, or they are live onto their host cell, and they obtain the nutrient from their host. And I had already discussed the example of human. In the human intestine, E. coli bacteria that are present as an host, that is a human body, and as a parasite, that is the E. coli. They are living as a parasite inside the host cell, and they obtain the nutrient from the host cells. Okay, so this is what all about the parasite. They depend on to the another, they live upon the another organism. Saprophytes. Saprophyte means this bacteria, they can live and grow in a dead and decaying organic matter. Wherever there is the dead and decaying organic matter, such as the human body, when they are getting dead and decay, when the plants material, when the leaves fall down, when their stems fall down, ultimately this organic matter, when there is a dead and decay, so their bacteria, saprophytes means this bacteria live and grow on the dead and decay organic matter. They live on those things. Symbiotic. Symbiotic, which means that they live in a symbiotic relationship with the another organisms. They are both the partner, they live in a relationship, in a symbiotic relationship with the other organisms. And I had already discussed about the example Rhizobium. Rhizobium is a bacteria that fixes the nitrogen in the leguminous plant root, and here both the partner is getting benefit. So it is a symbiotic relationship between the two person, or we can say that here the two living things. Here the one that is a microorganism, that is a bacteria, and the another that is the plant. Beneficial effect. Bacteria that can used as a biofertilizer. Bacteria has a degradation capacity. Bacteria has an ability that can degrade the complex material into the simple material. So it has a degradation capacity, and it is also used as a biofertilizer. If we talk about the classification, 3-domain concept was given by Carl Woese, and the 3 domain of concept, that is bacteria, archaea, and the eukarya. And the 5-domain concept was given by R.H. Whitaker, and later on the 3-domain concept was given by the Carl Woese, which divide the 3 domain into the bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. Now, if we talk about the nutrition, most of the bacteria do not contain chlorophyll. Most of the bacteria, they don't have the chlorophyll. They are unable to synthesize their own food. So how they will synthesize? If they don't, some bacteria, they don't have chlorophyll, so they cannot synthesize their own food. Only a small growing bacteria synthesize their own foods. Some of the bacteria has an ability, they can synthesize their own foods, such as phototrophic and heterotrophic. Phototrophic, photo means light and phototrophic means, which means that they prepare their own food using solar energy. Heterotrophic, which means that they required organic compound as the carbon source and they will synthesize their own food. All the organisms required source of energy.